embarrassing, you sitting in my messy car with me. But you know, vulnerability is something we strive for. What you can pay for in therapy, you get here for free. Just at the risk of everybody in the comments laughing at you because you can't put lip gloss on correctly. But more likely, they're laughing at you because you haven't read Gone Girl. When did it come out? Like 2014? And I just read it. Congratulations. Late to the party as ever. I've actually never been late to a party because, you know, I'm just elite. If any of y'all know where my missing upper lip is, or you got extra to share, hit a girl up. But anyways, welcome to my car. Where's the best place to film? Not next to the truck that just revved up. I was about to say, I can't ask for anything better. Nice, quiet little filming studio. Great acoustics, better than what I can get in my bedroom. Somehow feels more professional than me just filming in front of a bookcase. I like it here. Ooh, you can watch this while you're like eating your lunch at work. And you're hiding in your car because you don't want to talk to your coworkers. We're hiding together. Anyways, Gone Girl, I finally read it. It's actually the first entry in my book lover's journal that I just bought. It's just supposed to help me keep track of everything that I'm supposed to read this year. I'm able to put down the title, author, how many stars, other books written by the author, and my little review. But it also has some pages up front for a little TBR list. Very handy. It says like $14.99 on the back, but I got it for like $5 at Barnes & Noble's. But anyways, there has been a trend going on in my life for literally the past 3 years. The best books that I read for the entire year are always in January. That just lets the 11 months, the other 11 months just be slop. And yet again, it happened. Gone Girl, 5 stars. Who would have guessed it? All those people who are like, wow, Gone Girl, that's the thriller. That's the twist. Oh, it's so good. We should make a movie out of it in case he shouldn't watch it for 11 years. Apparently all these people have been right over the decade. It's a very good book. Love it. It's so weird to review a book that's been out for so long. Like, what am I adding? Everybody knows it's good, but mostly I'm just impressed that I read this book without getting spoiled. Was able to avoid those spoilers for a long, long time. Except for one little thing, but we'll get into that later. Gone Girl is a domestic thriller revolving around the tumultuous love affair of Amy and Nick, husband and wife. At first they seemed like the perfect couple, just two individuals a little bit above average. Like they're always like, we're a little better than everybody at this party. They find kindred spirits in each other. But you know, as with every marriage, not every marriage, because your marriage is thriving, I hope. But with their marriage in particular, they got a little lazy. Nick, Mr. Hubby, he's not been buying anniversary gifts. He lets his wife do that. Lets her cook the anniversary meal. Not very demure, not very mindful. Wouldn't it be silly, Nick, if your wife, a little sweetie pie, got kidnapped on your 5th anniversary? Well, that's exactly what happens in Gone Girl. Anniversary morning, boy wakes up, wifey gone. Gone? The girl is gone? Yes. He calls the police. He alerts the in-laws. He alerts the in-laws later into the book. They are not happy that he waited on that phone call, no siree. And everybody is kicked up and raring to go on a manhunt for this lovely young lady. Everyone except Nick, who, his wife is missing. You think he'd be a little, fire under the biscuits, like going, running, screaming in the woods, looking for his wifey. But there's something lurking beneath Nick's cool exterior. And it's up to us to unravel this tale. Why am I so dramatic? Before Amy was kidnapped, every year on their anniversary, Amy likes to leave little clues around the house, clues that lead to other clues that eventually leads to a big present for their anniversary. Wow, Nick, that sounds like a really cool wife. Should've loved her more, man. Should've loved her more. Happy wife, happy life. Torn up with guilt, harangued by the media and the police. Because, he's the husband. The police are going to be like, you're suspect number 1 in the missing wife case. He starts to follow these leftover anniversary clues, seeing if they have any hint towards where his wife is. Who took her? Why was she taken? And maybe we'll make a few friends along the way on this wild goose chase. That was a lie. No friends are made in this book. Everybody sucks in this book. I loved it. The lawyer was literally my favorite character. Nick's lawyer. boy has to lawyer up eventually. My rating of this book is 5 stars. And I think the number one blessing of this book, especially for a thriller, is just the length of it. It's over 500 pages. Let me see the correct amount. Gone Girl is 561 pages. That is 20 hours in the audiobook. Most thrillers are around the 300-350 mark. So something that's 561 pages is a little crazy, and it was definitely appreciated here. I loved it. I think just that length, just that unnecessary but very necessary extra 200 pages really lets you soak in the characters. Like this story, Gone Girl, it's written in separate point of views. We have Nick in the beginning looking for his wife, helping the police, getting questioned, going through the treasure hunt. His point of view, but then every other chapter we are in Amy's point of view, but her point of view chapters are written in diary entries. So like they're in the past, technically not the present. But no matter if we're in the present with Nick or in the past with Amy's diaries, you can definitely like feel the person whose brain we're occupying. Like there is a lot of room for these characters to think and breathe and react, and they do feel like really real people. And I think that's great. So many thrillers are just the action, the suspense, and the person that this is happening to is just like a puppet reacting, like just jerking, robotically going through the movements, not thinking. I want to hear the main character think loudly in their own skulls. If we're in a guy's brain and someone goes up to him and says, "Hey man, do you think this dress makes me look fat?" I want him to think yes, but I want him to say no. I love it. I enjoy being with you in your brain. And this book gave me a lot of that. One of the things about Nick, like again, he is a character. Like this man, he is as real as a fictional character can be. But the thing is, he is also a very unlikable character. He is very selfish, uncaring, like low-key hates women. Like I don't know why he got married to a woman, honestly. I don't think he's into it. Major daddy issues too though. But this is another thing Gone Girl did right. It made an unlikable main character whose brain we are trapped in bearable. I like that even if his point of views were wrong, like of just objectively wrong from a moral standpoint, we at least understood how he got to point A, point B through route C. Yet reading it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how Nick thinks. Okay, I don't approve, but I guess we're going this way now. I read a book last year called Dream Girl. Now, I hate books that talk about fictional books within their own little fictional universe. Like Fangirl, that's an example. But in Dream Girl, we're in the mind of a bedridden, older boomer author. He broke his hip or something. I don't know. I really don't care, and I wish more pain upon him. And he just had like such an ugly mind, and we were stuck with him. We had no other characters to like hop between chapters with. We were stuck in his brain, and I did not like that book, mostly because I did not care at all what happened to this guy. Because even though the main character from Dream Girl was just a collection of negative traits, at least all of Nick's kind of tied around a person and wasn't just sitting there like dirty garbage, reeking but there, and I don't know what to do with it. We'll get to it later in like the spoiler section of this review, but you have ample opportunity to cheer for Nick and to cheer against him. So like no matter what was happening or how the book ended, I would win because I'm rooting for him to win and I want him to lose. The dialogue could be funny at times. There were some funny jokes. We see from like a diary entry that Amy has a severe blood phobia and she accidentally faints in a blood drive in front of a bunch of old ladies. That scene was funny to me because you have all these old biddies just sitting around, needles in their arms, cackling about, oh ho ho, we get $30 from this, girls. Poor Amy is just dying in the corner, green-faced, nauseous, just seeing all these people get like drained like cattle. I would absolutely love to discuss more of my favorite twists and turns with you in the spoiler section. But to wrap up the non-spoiler section, we have amazing, well-written characters. They will get some sort of reaction out of you. You might like them, you might sympathize with them, you might hate them. I was like so excited to keep reading this book. Like I kept wanting to like peek at the end pages like a cheater, but I didn't. And it paid off super well. No spoilers. If you haven't read the book yet, you need to go take your time now and go finish it. I should probably watch the movie of it. I do want to see what this would look like on the big screen. My favorite part of the book was when the lawyer basically told everyone in the book that they're effed up, they're crazy. And I was like, yeah man, you're me, I'm the lawyer. You accidentally get framed for killing your wife in a sadistic treasure hunt game? Hit me up, I might help you out of it. I almost went to law school. Well, no, I almost got an English degree so I could go to law school. But I could have been a lawyer. I could have been Legal Eagle. Objection Casey, that's what my YouTube name would have been. But if you're willing and ready, we're going to go to the spoiler section now. So everything from here out is going to be filled with juicy tidbits. So 50% into the book, we get the twist reveal. I love thriller books. Another example of this is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, where the twist is revealed super early. Most thrillers, the twist is revealed around the 80%, 90% towards the back of the book. A big confrontation happens. Usually the villain or perpetrator ends up dead and then the book is over. I like when the twist is closer towards the beginning, so then we have all the rest of the book to deal with the repercussions of what happened at the twist. So 50% into the book, good. Now, I was not spoiled for like Gone Girl, except I knew the line that you would like hear quoted all the time, see on posters sometimes, especially on TikTok or Instagram, the "I'm so much happier now that I'm dead" line. So I knew in my brain that Amy wasn't dead. I didn't know where she was or what was happening, but I for sure knew girl is alive. And if you're reading the book, just seeing how it's all set up, main characters, we've got Nick, in-laws, his sister, random side characters that we're told have a grudge against Amy, but we also like don't get enough of them for them to like solidify themselves as a villain. Like no one in the circle of characters we have besides Nick, and we know he's not, he probably didn't do it. We're just, maybe that's putting just a little too much trust in Nick. He would kill his wife. Never mind that. But besides Nick as the potential killer, no one else is going to want to kill Amy. No one else would want to hold her hostage and kidnap her. So I don't think it would be like so far off to say that it's pretty easy to see that she's not hurt, kidnapped, or killed in the first half of the book. She's somewhere, she's just not there. It's pretty easy to actually get to. But my point is, the twist for me wasn't she's alive. The twist was the diary entries were faked and that she is just so angry at Nick. Oh my gosh, this girl is literally a nut job. Like, I don't fear Voldemort, Darth Vader, but someone as real as this who could easily be walking around, this is someone I do not want to mess with on the streets. Amy found out that her husband Nick had a mistress. You don't know how mad I was in chapter 4 when, he just casually turned to us, the viewer. This book broke the fourth wall so many times and I loved it. Chef's kiss. Oh yeah, he just turned to us and he's like, oh yeah, I have a mistress. She's really young. I met her at the college I teach at. Disgusting. But drama filled. So yeah, she found out and of course she's like, of course I'm gonna like frame my husband for my kidnapping and murder and then disappear off the grid, because how dare he do that to me? Okay, so at this point of the book, I am on Amy's side. But later on, I am strictly on Nick's side, even though I do not like Nick, and I don't agree with the vast majority of his lifestyle choices. But Amy needs to go to jail. She doesn't, and we'll talk about that later. So yeah, Amy fakes everything, goes off the grid, gets in a little bit of trouble with some people at like a rental cabin thing. But besides all that, she's just living her life, watching the news coverage of Nick just making a butthole of himself on national television, trying to like fake sympathy, keep the news of his affair under wraps, but the reporters don't play like that. No, they find out. And she's just there drinking her little drink, curled up by the fire, just watching all the anarchy spread its flames. Fantastic twist. And I love that as soon, like the very next chapter, as soon as we, the reader, find out that Amy is trying to frame Nick, the next chapter, which is still like 50% into the book, Nick, that little light bulb lights up and he realizes he's being framed. I love this. I love that he just wasn't like hapless and clueless, like, oh my gosh, my poor dear wife is still missing. Boy realized exactly what was happening. How these treasure hunt clues he was following was like set up to like implicate him in the crime based on like the locations of the treasure hunt clues and what items were left there that would pretty much spell out, this man murdered me. But yeah, the fact that he instantly got it and like just did a 180, like, oh no, I don't want to find her, but I want to find her to kill her, yeah. And then he immediately like told his sister, his lawyer, and even the lawyer was like, oh my gosh, man, we need to get more evidence or you're going to jail and it's a death penalty state. So seeing that trio kind of band together to prove Nick innocent, that was fun. Nick's not innocent though. I don't like Nick, but I like him better than Amy because Amy's evil. If you know anything about me, something that will make me immediately hate a real person or a fictional character is faking sexual assault, claiming somebody did the R word to you just cause you're mad at them. Amy does this twice, maybe 3 times. Like, girl did it with a wine bottle to make it look like she'd been with a wine. That is a level of method acting I will never commit to. So because Amy has done this horrible thing, which I morally object to, now I'm also rooting against her, but I'm rooting against Nick because I don't like either one of them. Later on in the book, Nick, he finally puts his brain on, flips up the switch. He's like, only way to save my own skin is to somehow lure Amy back to me. And, you know, with her being alive, everybody will realize I didn't kill my wife. So boy gets on TV and he, you know, cameras in his face like this, pretend I'm Nick. Hey, women are objects for my own pleasure. And he appeals to Amy through the camera because, you know, she's watching it in her little cozy cabin. And he's saying all the stuff that appeals to her narcissistic brain, like, I'm so sorry, I want you back, I will make this all better, everything I did was wrong, I'm recommitting to our marriage. And it's working. It worked. I loved it. I'm like, you're so dumb, girl. Like a fish seeing shiny tackle. And yeah, Nick's just luring that little fishy back, and girl pops up like, oh, Nick, I'd been kidnapped by that guy in high school who was horrible to me, and I crawled through the Ozarks to get back to you, Nick. Boy starts choking her. I love it. She doesn't die though. No. Something better happens, actually. So, like, for part 3 in this book, when Amy comes back home, like, she's, at first, it seemed like she was still, like, sticking to her story that, oh, I was kidnapped, Nick, but I'm back. Isn't that amazing? I know you had an affair, but we can save our marriage together. And Nick just straight up is like, I know exactly what you did. I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to kill me. I do not love you. Divorce me now. And that happened for like a little while, and I was like, why is Amy like pretending she's not hearing this? Like, he's clearly saying, I tricked you to be here. Why isn't she trying to kill him? But then I forgot she's crazy. Girl likes it. Girl gets off on his terror. I wrote in my notes, part 3, wish Nick would have faked being happy to see her. I love that he'd been playing up to her narcissism on the TV shows. Next note, never mind, she's into it, lol. But at the end of the book, we get to basically the ultimatum. I was thinking throughout this book, how was it gonna end? I was afraid it would go towards the perfect marriage book ending. I do not like that book, and if this book ended like that, I would have hated this whole thing. I feel like The Perfect Marriage is like a really bad ripoff of Gone Girl. Kinda. Not like a ripoff, but it definitely tried to hit like the same story beats and do a different ending, and I just do not like, I actually don't like any of this author's books. I'll get on that on another day. But what was I talking about? But yes, I was afraid it would end with Nick either going to jail, being executed, or Amy going to jail, which is great. That's where they kind of both belong. Amy more than Nick, actually, because Amy's literally killed people at this point. That guy, she said, who kidnapped her in the Ozarks or wherever the heck they were, she met the guy in Vegas and like she went home with him, killed him and stole his car or something. Yeah, she killed him in the throat. She's a murderer. And poor Nick's just living with a murderer next to his bedroom at this point. But yeah, I'm like, one of these two is either going to jail, and even though that should happen, it's not very like, it doesn't have that punch, that like pizzazz. It's not spicy enough. It's not a spicy enough ending for this book. But the Lord blessed me. He was like, I've heard your complaints, child. I've seen your worries. Don't worry, because this book that you're reading 11 years after it's been published ends in the best way possible. Instead of either of these people dying, getting murdered in their sleep by their spouse, or going to jail, they end up happily married, trapped together with a child on the way. This is the perfect way for this book to end. Amy gets what she wants. She gets a marriage that she can absolutely control, because somehow throughout all this, she's actually pregnant with Nick's baby. Something gross happened there, probably. And Nick, he has those daddy issues where he hated his dad, and he wants to be the absolute best father possible for any future children. And Amy is literally threatening to kill their unborn child if he leaves or divorces her or tells anybody about her trying to frame him. And Guy's like, oh my god, I'm stuck here. He is stuck there, and they're stuck together forever in holy matrimony. And that's how the book ends, with the baby being born, and they're probably out there having another kid. Bunch of psycho broods. I don't know. a little psycho brood. And I'm like, this is poetic. Y'all both suck and you deserve each other. So that's exactly what you're getting. Poor Go, though. Go was an annoying girl, but she does not deserve this. She needs to go somewhere else. I feel like if we get a sequel from Gone Girl, Go is going to die because Amy's going to just straight up kill her. I love the police officers in this book. Like, usually police officers are really annoying in thrillers because they're all rah, 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 rah. But this police officer, I think her name was Boney, she was actually really sympathetic and was trying to do her job correctly with sympathy, but also for a love of justice. And I was actually pretty sad when Nick had to tell her, stop poking around. All that stuff I said about Amy framing me, made it up. I am going to be a father now and I am trapped in this satanic marriage. And she just had to walk away because there was no evidence. Because Amy was controlling everything. A perfect way to end the book. And this review. I loved it. First read of the year. First 5 stars. So Gillian Flynn has written 2 other books. Sharp Objects, 2006. Dark Places, 2009. I don't know if they've written anything past Gone Girl. I will look it up because I want more, especially if the thrillers are over 500 pages. But thank you so much for just sitting with me, having a good old-fashioned yaw. I've enjoyed this quality time. You know the best part about filming in a car? I can just get out and get some boba tea now. It's right over there. Let's go. Thank you for listening to me talk, Mr. Cat. I will never forget you. What? Did you forget something? Bye.